This Black Forest Swiss roll is a fluffy and moist chocolate cherry dream. Made from scratch with my homemade chocolate cake batter, cherry filling, and wait to find out the kind of frosting we're using. It's a marshmallow dream come true. It is heaven on a plate, and let's get started because I can't wait to share it with you. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In a large mixing bowl, combine 4 eggs with 3/4 cup of sugar and a splash of vanilla. Beat eggs at high speed until your mixture doubles in volume and becomes very fluffy. About 6 minutes. Look at this. This is exactly the consistency we're looking for. Now take 4 ounces of butter and 6 ounces of tasty chocolate. Melt them in the microwave, then combine them together and mix well until you get a smooth and homogeneous consistency. Turn your standing mixer on the stirring setting and slowly drizzle your chocolatey butter mixture. Stir on low until all is combined. Don't beat or overmix at this point. In a sifter, add 2/3 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda with a pinch of salt, and a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Sift the dry ingredients, then use a spatula and fold gently. Take your time in folding and mixing in the dry ingredients, and do it in slow motions. We want to preserve as much air as we can. Your batter is ready, and it already smells and tastes delicious. And yes, I know you're tasting it right now. Line a parchment paper on a pan and spread your batter evenly. Into a preheated oven it goes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit in the center rack for 10 to 12 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You will know it's baked when you lightly press the top surface and it bounces back. But you can always check the doneness with the toothpick. Once it's all baked, sprinkle some powdered sugar on top to avoid the top surface sticking to the baking sheet. Pre-roll it while it's still warm. This will prevent any cracks in the roll. Let it sit at room temperature to cool completely. Meanwhile, strain the cherries. I have some canned cherries, but you definitely can use some cherry pie filling. Or you can make your own cherry compote. Set your cherries aside. Now let's add some adult good stuff. Drizzle some cherry liquor. The alcohol is not overpowering, especially because we're straining it through the sieve, but you can taste it. If making this Swiss roll for children, omit the liquor and add 1 teaspoon of rum extract. Now let's get to our frosting. In a standing mixer, add 7 ounces of marshmallow fluff, which is fluffy, sweet, smooth, delicious, aka marshmallow cream. It's a perfect addition to a frosting. Mix that on low speed, then add 2 cups of heavy whipping cream and start mixing on medium, then gradually increase it to high speed until you get soft peaks and a creamy marshmallowy consistency. If you plan on assembling your cake later, place your frosting in the fridge. Gently unroll your cake and place a few big spoons of frosting inside. Spread it evenly and set aside 1/3 of your frosting to decorate later. This frosting is absolutely delicious and so light and fluffy. It's a marshmallow in a piping bag. Now place your cherries in a few rows. Just like that. When you're done, slowly but tightly roll the cake back up. Once the cake is all rolled up, place it seam side down on a platter. Refrigerate for at least 20 minutes and up to 1 day before slicing and serving so the Swiss roll sets its shape and it's easier to slice. Once your Swiss roll is out of the fridge, use the remaining frosting and cover the top of your roll. Add some frosting to the sides. Then take a peeler and grate some chocolate on top. I love this kitchen gadget. It's so indispensable when peeling your veggies or fruits, and it's very inexpensive. I will link it for you as well as any other kitchen tools in the description box below. Now let's trim off the ends. This will make your Swiss roll presentation prettier, plus this is your snacking and tasting piece. So be generous, you deserve it. Here we go. Nice, clean cut, and you're left with a beautiful swirl in your Black Forest Swiss roll. Place any remaining frosting into a piping bag with the flour nozzle and pipe 5 to 6 beautiful rosettes on top of your roll. Garnish with the prettiest reserved cherries on top. The cherries on top of the cake. Grate with a little more of your chocolate because, of course, you can never have enough chocolate. This Black Forest Swiss roll looks amazing. Here's what you'll taste. A light and spongy chocolate cake texture with fluffy, cloudy marshmallowy frosting and the tangy bites of cherries that balance the sweetness. It's like an explosion of the most delicious flavors in your mouth. I fell in love with this Swiss roll, and by far this is the best dessert I've ever made. Impress everyone with this show-stopping, simple and delicious Swiss roll. If you enjoyed this recipe, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Before you leave, check out the chocolate Nutella Swiss roll and let me know in the comments if you prefer Swiss rolls or the traditional layered cakes. See you next week!